Hey there, and welcome. Have you ever really stopped to think about the power that's packed into one tiny two-letter word? I'm talking about the word if. It's incredible, right? It acts like this little bridge that connects the world we live in to all the worlds we can imagine. It's the key that unlocks, well, everything. Scientific facts, our plans for the weekend, our secret wishes, and even our deepest regrets. Today, we're going to pull apart and really master conditional sentences. These are the powerful grammatical tools that let us navigate all those what-if scenarios that pretty much make up our entire lives. So let's get into it and master the art of the if clause together. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the anatomy of if, just to make sure we have a really solid foundation. Then we'll move into conditionals of reality. These are the tools we use every single day to talk about facts and things that are very likely to happen. After that, we're going to take a little trip into conditionals of imagination, where we'll learn how to talk about hypotheticals, daydreams, and even the impossible. And finally, we'll wrap it all up in your conditional toolkit, where I'll give you a super handy cheat sheet to put it all together. Sound good? Let's start with the basics.
All right, let's dive right into our first section. It's a lot like building a house, isn't it? You can't just start putting up the walls and the roof. First, you need a solid foundation. And in grammar, that foundation is understanding the basic parts. You'll never feel confident using all the different types of conditional sentences until you know what they're actually made of. So right now, we're going to deconstruct the conditional sentence, look at its DNA, and see exactly what makes it tick.
This question really gets to the core of what we're talking about. That one little word, if, is like a portal. It's the language we use for literally everything. Think about it. Simple planning. If I finish my work early, I'll go to the gym. Dreaming about a different life. If I won the lottery, I would buy a house by the sea. Or even looking back and wondering about the past. If I had studied harder, I would have passed that exam. It is such a small word, but it has this absolutely massive job. It's the engine for our plans, our dreams, and our reflections. Okay, so let's get a formal definition on the table. At its heart, a conditional sentence is just a sentence that says one thing depends on something else happening. It's all about cause and effect. Take a look at the example here. If it rains, the picnic will be canceled. It's super clear, right? The entire fate of that picnic is completely dependent on the weather. The picnic being canceled is the result, or the effect. And what's the cause? Well, the rain is the condition. That simple relationship, condition and result, is what a conditional sentence is all about. So every single conditional sentence you will ever see, from the simplest to the most complex, has these two essential parts. Think of them as two puzzle pieces that have to fit together. First up, you've got the if clause. This part sets the stage. It's the condition, the what-if part of the sentence, the cause. And then you have the main clause. This is the result, the consequence, the effect of that condition. So in our example, if it rains, that's our if clause. And the picnic will be canceled. That's our main clause. Condition and result. Get that down and you've got the blueprint for everything we're about to cover. Okay, now that we have our foundation nice and solid, let's build on it with our first major category. We are starting with conditionals of reality. And just like the name suggests, these are the conditionals we use to talk about the world as it actually is. We're talking about facts, habits, and real, tangible possibilities. Honestly, these are the workhorses of our daily conversations, totally grounded in certainty and high probability. Our first stop on this journey is the zero conditional. I want you to connect this one with a single powerful idea: absolute certainty. This is for things that are always true. We're not talking about predictions or possibilities here. We're talking about undeniable facts. Think about scientific laws, like if you freeze water, it becomes ice. Or general truths: if you don't water plants, they die. It even works for personal habits that are basically unbreakable rules for you, like if I have caffeine after 3 p.m., I can't sleep. The point is, if the condition happens, the result is 100% guaranteed to happen, every single time. Now the structure for the zero conditional is just beautiful in its simplicity. The if clause is in the simple present tense, and the main clause is also in the simple present tense. It's a perfect match. If you heat ice, simple present, it turns to vapors, simple present again. Notice we say it turns, not it will turn. That's because this isn't a prediction for the future. It's a statement of fact that is always true. It's a law of nature. Anytime that condition is met, the result follows without fail. That's the unmistakable signature of the zero conditional.
Okay, so if the zero conditional is all about 100% certainty, the first conditional is where we shift into talking about situations that are very likely, but not quite guaranteed.
We're moving away from scientific laws and into the world of real-life possibilities. This is the grammar we rely on for making plans, for giving warnings, and for making predictions about things that could very, very easily happen. We are looking ahead to a specific, possible future.
And here's where we see the first big change in our formula. Take a look. The if clause actually stays in the simple present tense, if it rains. But check out the main clause. Now we're using will plus a verb. That's our signal that we're pointing to a future outcome. If it rains, he will not come. This is a realistic prediction about a possible future event. It's not a certainty, right? It might not rain, but we are stating the most likely consequence if that condition is met. This is the language of planning our days, our weeks, and our lives.
Now this is where the first conditional gets really cool and incredibly versatile. You are not just stuck with the word will. You can swap in other modal verbs to add all sorts of nuance and change the flavor of the result. For instance, if it stops raining, we can go to the market. Here, can expresses ability or opportunity. Or, if the fog gets thicker, the plane may be late. May suggests a possibility, but it feels a little less certain than will, doesn't it? You can even make a polite request. If you meet Sita, could you tell her to ring me? This flexibility is exactly what makes the first conditional such a powerful and common tool in our everyday speech.
Okay, time to venture into our next section. We're now leaving the solid ground of reality behind us and stepping into the fascinating world of imagination. We're shifting from what is and what will likely be to what could be, what we wish for, and what might have been. These next two conditionals are our dedicated tools for exploring all of these hypothetical realms. This is where it gets really interesting.
First step in this world of imagination is the second conditional, and we use this one to talk about hypothetical or unlikely situations in the present or the future. This is the official language of daydreams and what-if games. It's how we give advice, like when we say, if I were you, I would. It lets us explore scenarios that are not true right now. Think about if I were a millionaire, or if I had more time. We are literally talking about an alternate present reality.
Okay, I want you to lean in and pay close attention here, because this is a super common point of confusion for a lot of people. The if clause in the second conditional uses the simple past tense. See it there? If I had an umbrella. But, and this is the absolute key, we are not talking about something that happened in the past. That past tense is a grammatical trick. It's a special signal to the person you're talking to that this situation is not true in the present. If I had an umbrella is a secret code for I do not have an umbrella right now. The main clause then uses would plus the verb to describe the imaginary result of this unreal situation. I would lend it to you.
And now for our final type, we take one more step into the realm of the impossible. The third conditional is how we talk about the past, but more specifically, it's how we imagine a different past, a past that has already happened and absolutely cannot be changed. Because of this, it's very often the language of regret or sometimes relief or just simply of wondering what might have been if things had gone down differently.
Now, I know this structure might look a little complicated at first, but I promise you, it's perfectly logical. First, the if clause uses the past perfect tense, if he had come to me. That special tense immediately tells us two things. One, the action is in the past, and two, it did not happen. The reality is he didn't come to me. And because that condition in the past was not met, the result in the main clause, I would have helped him, is now completely and totally impossible. It's a closed door. It's a path that was never taken. We use this to reflect on past events and their now impossible alternative outcomes.
Wow, okay, we have covered a lot of ground, haven't we? We've gone all the way from solid facts with the zero conditional to those impossible pasts with the third. Now let's bring it all together. Let's consolidate everything we've learned into one simple, powerful tool that you can use as a reference anytime you need it. This is your toolkit for mastering conditionals.
And here it is. This slide brings everything neatly together. Honestly, this is your complete toolkit. If you're going to take a screenshot of anything from our time together, make it this one. Let's just walk through it one last time. We have the zero conditional. Its use case is for facts and universal truths, and it uses simple present in both clauses. Then, the first conditional, for real future possibilities and plans, using simple present in the if clause and will in the main clause. Next, the second conditional, for those unreal situations in the present day, daydreaming and giving advice, using simple past and would. And finally, the third conditional, for imagining a different impossible past, using the past perfect and would have. From solid reality to pure imagination, this is your complete roadmap.
Because at the end of the day, learning these grammatical rules isn't just about passing a test or sounding smart. It's about unlocking a whole new level of expression for yourself. It's about having the right tools to communicate the huge, amazing range of human experience. Everything from stating simple facts and making concrete plans, all the way to dreaming of a better world and reflecting on the paths we've taken in life. You now have the language of possibility right at your fingertips. So the only question left is, what will you imagine now?